Peace, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to another Moorish Monday with Abdullah Iltale Mosi Bey. I got my great brother with me today, Brother Kono Sokofa Bey. We're going to be doing part 2, etymology and semantics, true and original meanings, and how new meanings are developed. So this is part 2. Before we get started, you can go to mooresandmasonry.org to get my books, mooresandmasonry.org. Also, the Moroccan Post School of Government International Law, as well as the Moorish Investigative Research Committee has lessons on the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. That's the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. I want to give a thanks to, once again, as always, to a brother Hank for offering this platform to me. I've been on this Moorish Monday platform since the first Monday in December of 2023 of last year, 2023. So we're gonna get started. We have the quote up there. Kona, you want to put the quote up for me?
Yes.
Robert K. Dick quote.
Brother Hank, will you give me permission to share my
We
screen?
have a very thought-provoking quote by Robert K. Dick. We see here the basic tool for the manipulation of reality is the manipulation of words. If you can control the meaning of words, you can control the people who you must use the words. I thought it'd be fitting that if we start off with this, this will lead into what Kono's part of the presentation, but I'm going to be starting it off. The basic tool, once again, of the manipulation of reality. So let's just break this down. The basic tool for the manipulation of reality is the manipulation of words. So we're going to look at how reality, because reality, can it be manipulated, or it's just an appearance of the manipulation? So by manipulating words, you change how someone views or perceives reality. I mean, the reality is there. So the reality doesn't change, your perception changes. So that which it is remains, but your perception, how you view it, or how our ancestors viewed, is not how we view it today. And so we're going to see that by, so what's been manipulated. So our ancestors had one view, and we have another view because of the manipulation of words. As I said last week, that words, the culture is in the language. So language embodies a people's mores, folk ways, and their understanding, how they view their interchange of commerce, their knowledge base of astronomy and agriculture, horticulture, how they interchange with each other, marital practices. Those are embodied in the language and passed down from generation to generation. So to cut that knowledge base off from being passed down, there is a suppression of the reality or the original concepts through the manipulation of words. So we're going to look at that. We have the word sin. So if I say, well, you would think that if I knocked a corner off the off the, knock him in the head, you would say, "Oh man, you committed a sin, Abdullah. You know, you committed a sin. You owed a Makono apology. That's a sinful act." Well, how did that come about? How did that meaning come about that, my knocking a Makono off the head would be a sinful act? How is that a sinful act? The word sin is a Sumerian name for the moon. So I want you to look outside and see sin. Embrace her. So you see there is a manipulation of your reality or how you perceive. You perceive this word sin as being a bad deed. Stealing, killing, rape. You review those be classified as sinful acts. So you took so the word sin, meaning moon, it's just that the moon is in modern English, lune is Latin, sin is Sumerian. We're born in sin. Well, that's a good thing. Fertility. So the sin is associated with fertility. So the moon revolves around the earth in 28 days. The moon governs the women's menstrual cycle. The word menstrual, menses, means moon. So most women do not associate their menstrual cycle with the moon. The cycles of the moon, the biorhythmic of the moon. There's no association there. So there's a manipulation. So let's look at the second part. If you can control the meaning of words, you can control the people who must use them. So how are we being controlled? Once again, this word sin, which is the Sumerian name for moon, is modern English. Sin is Sumerian. So there is a moving away because the words are embodied a culture. They're not isolated. They're not individualized. You don't analyze words as individual units, as individual components. Words are analyzed in a culture setting. So when you take the word out of its culture setting and set them in Leben, that methodology leads to distortion. Because it's no longer with its mother. You took the mother away. You took the mother out of the equation. So when you take the mother out of the equation, what happens? The origin is lost. The original thought, original concept. The people are lost because they don't know who their mother is. So this word is detached from its mother. It was manipulated and a new meaning covered the original meaning. Let's look at the word primitive. We dealt with this word last week. You're primitive. The native people and the indigenous people were so primitive. They're savages, unsophisticated. They just didn't have much knowledge. They were so primitive. And we saw last week that the word primitive means first. Prime,
Original.
primal, word prince, M and N, are liquids. Prince, firstborn male. Princess, firstborn female. First. So we saw last week that the word primitive would be analogous to aboriginal, autochthonous, indigenous, native. That's still, you put the word primitive in that family of words. Not savagery, unsophisticated. So they took the word primitive from its family, aboriginal, the original people, native, indigenous, autochthonous, autochthonous. And so what we're doing is placing it back in its proper setting. Alcono, take over for me real quick. Just read the quote again. Give me 1 minute. Just read the quote again.
Okay, so Philip K. Dick, the basic tool for the manipulation of reality is the manipulation of words. If you can control the meaning of the word, you can control the people who must use them. And so I like etymology because you deal with the origin of the word, so it gives you the mother of the word. And so another word that I always use, I tell people, is nice. If you look up the etymology of the word nice, it means the opposite of what people think it means. I mean, there's various words. Blessed, as Abdullah said last week, we dealt with primitive. And that was a shocker for me because I looked that up and I saw that it meant first or original, as he said. Let me see.
All right, so we good?
Yeah.
I can barely hear you. Say something else, Kono.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
I'm probably at the. All right, so I'll continue as long as you can hear me.
Yeah, I can.
So we have here. If you can control the meaning of words, you can control the people who you must use the words. So we're going to talk about the control factor because that's a very key component of what we're talking about of our discussion today. The control factor, how we are being controlled through the manipulation of words. So let's look at Friday the 13th. Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's an unlucky day. You would have bad luck today. Friday the 13th. So what's happening here? The word Friday, the etymology, F-R-I, comes from the Old Norse word Freyja. It's the Old Norse goddess of fertility that's associated with Venus. So Venus is the goddess of fertility. That's Friday, day of Venus. Viernes Dias, day of Venus. Now, the number 13 ties to the moon. The moon revolves around the earth in 28 days, 13 times. That's 354 days. 354 days, that's the complete cycle. So the women count 12. They count 12 menstrual cycles. They don't count 13. They count 12 when it's actually 13. So you have your lunar calendar and your solar calendar. The solar calendar is tied to the cycle of the sun, whereas the lunar calendar is tied to the cycles of the moon. So you have this movie series, Friday the 13th. Bunch of killing, right? Jason, This, see how they took a sacred, they took that which is sacred, that which ties to the fertility and biorhythmic of women's. And they called the first a movie that has a lot of killing in this character, Jason. See what they're doing? So when you hear Friday the 13th, Jason, you know, see that? See the control factor? All right, so then there's a movie known called Maleficent. Maleficent. Mal, M-A-L, means bad. Ficent, F-I-C, means make or do. Maleficent. And she's the horn-headed character. The horn-headed character is called Maleficent. Why is the horn-headed character, who is the main character, why is she called Maleficent? Why not Beneficent? Why is the character named Beneficent? Ben, good. Why Maleficent? You know, why the horns? Why anything associated with the horns is bad? Because the horn is associated with the moon. Once again, the control factor. 28 days, the moon revolves around the earth. The word menses, menstrual cycle, menstruation. The word month means moon. The moon governs the woman's menstrual cycle. So you have that. So that 28 days, the 28-day cycle. So you see this. You see the control factor by manipulating what? The words, the meaning, constructing new meanings, and thereby suppressing the original meaning, original thoughts, philosophy, culture, folk ways, more ways, practices, marital practices, commercial interchange. Continue right here. Easter. Well, why is Easter associated with a male figure? What does Easter have to do with a male? Whether it's a male that looked like me or a male that looked like Donald Trump. How does Easter have to do with a male? What does Easter? It's a female name. How a female name came to be associated with a male, whether the male looked like me or the male looked like Donald Trump. Has nothing. The name. Let's talk about the name. The name. Let's not talk about anything else first. Let's focus just the name. The name is a female name. Ishtarte. Ashtoreth. Esther. It's female name. So see the control there? There is a scene in the I think the first season of what's it called? Oh man, it's the name of the movie. The 13 the guy that played in Drumline, the teacher in Drumline. He's in the movie. He's in the series, and also what's his name? Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro and the guy in the Drumline. They're both something of the gods. Something of the gods. It's something of the gods. They're in that first season. In the first season, the last episode, first season. In the first season, the last episode, the character, there was a scene where they had, of course, the European women, but they were women nonetheless, and they had the image, the European image that they called Jesus, and they at least tied it to women. They at least tied the name, the Easter. They at least tied the festival to women. They did associate it to women, and said, well, that he gave the proper association that most people think that this is his holiday, and they pointing to the European image that they call Jesus, when actually it's her holiday. So I thought that was interesting. Somebody please put in the chat, if you can see the chat, the name of that series, something of the gods.
American Gods.
I got to come off again. I can barely hear you. So when I get done, I'm gonna just drop off and I think I turn my media sound up. But I'll continue till you come on.
Someone put American Gods in the comments.
So we have the word villain. So you said it right. So that's good.
Yeah.
So the word villain. Oh man, he's a villain. He's a thief. He's no good. That no good scoundrel. That villain. Wow, how did that meaning come about? That no good scoundrel. That thief. That criminal. The villain. In the movie, the bad character. How did that come about? When it's a farmer, a peasant, farmer is someone who is not of the high class. A villain, farmer, peasant, farmers didn't make much, and so they were of the low class. And how did that meaning? Because the high class looked down on them. They looked down at them. They loved, so the high class of the society looking down on people, farmers and peasants. So they took on a negative connotation. All right. You have the word villa. You heard villa. Well, that's just simply a country house, a farm. My villa. Villainous, farmland. Has nothing to do with criminal, scoundrel, farmland. Farmer, peasant. And that's that dirty work. Yeah, I mean, that's for them people, the dirty work. The uppity, society. All right, so we just I wanted to give you a few words here. Kono, you're gonna do your pretty. I'm gonna drop off, so I gotta turn up my volume, my sound, so I can hear you. All right, you could go get started, Kono.
All right, hopefully y'all can hear me. Okay. Somebody say yeah, they can hear us both. Okay, cool. Okay, so this is a presentation. I'm not gonna do the whole presentation, but just a small little snippet from my YouTube channel. Is helping our people elevate. But we're gonna go over the fathers of the modern race paradigm. We're gonna talk about Francis Bernier, which is a craniologist who wrote the book The New Division of the Earth in 1684. The naturalist Carl Linnaeus, who wrote the Systema Naturae in 1758, and the anthropologist Johann Friedrich Blumenbach, who associated the term white with Caucasian. And I have a book on this subject coming out sometime next year, between the spring and the summer of next year, but my book is titled From 1684 to Present, How Race and Color Became People. And so we're going to first start with Francis Bernier and his New Division of the Earth in 1684. And how Bernier divided humanity in several categories based primarily on skin color and other physical features. And so these are the 5 classes that Bernier classified the people under. as Brother Abdullah would always say, where do we get the concept of what color is he? What color is she? And so this comes from Francis Benaire, 1684. And so this is almost 300 years of the people thinking that the people are crayon colors or colors, as we would say. But he labeled white peoples of Europe, North Africa, and parts of Asia, like Persia and India, as being fair or white complexion. Black, the category primarily included the people of sub-Saharan Africa. Benaire noted that darker skin tone associated them with certain physical features like curly hair. Red people, this category referred to the indigenous peoples of the Americas. The term red was used to describe their skin tone. Brown people, Benaire used this term for the inhabitants of Southeast Asia, including places like the Philippines and parts of Malaysia and Indonesia. And then finally, yellow people, the category referred to the East Asians, particularly the Chinese and other parts of similar complexion, or other people with similar complexion. And so then, as I said, Francis Benaire, the French physician and traveler, he spent, I believe it's 12 years in Asia. But yeah, it's in the 17th century. It's known for his work in the Nouvelle de la Terre, or the New Division of the Earth. His division aims to categorize the world into distinct climatic zone and cultural regions, reflecting the diversity of human society and environments.
What do you want to indicate? It was Asia, yeah, but India in particular.
Yeah,
India. Yeah.
But he really stripped the people of their nationality, and which comes with that is consanguinity, your ancestry, pedigree, parentage, lineage, genealogy, various others. I did a video on that as well on my platform. But how race and color were used interchangeably by way of the race paradigm. And so as I explained, Francis Benaire, Carl Linnaeus, and Johann Friedrich Blumenbach, but more so Francis Benaire in his 1684 Nouvelle de la Terre, or New Division of the Earth. And so the association of skin colors being connected with skin tones, white, black, red, yellow, and brown, which is a human rights violation. And so when they dealt with people calling people color, we're really talking about chroma, and I'll get into that further as we go into it. But when you look at the people on this chart, we associate them with color. More like most the first two in per se, but the other three are also associated with color in the Americas or the United States, I'll say. And so we're going to talk about article.
Also, you want to talk about that includes that in addition to United States, it's also South America.
South America, Central America.
Yes, it's not just relative to United States jurisdiction. South America, Brazil, Puerto Rico, Brazil, Colombia. So
yes, they use that Census Bureau.
Yeah,
correct. Yeah,
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so this is a human rights violation because Article 15 of the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15 says everyone has a right to a nationality. And the United Nations Declaration of Rights of a Child says every child has a right to a name and a nationality. And so this chroma system or color system strips us from that nationality. And we're going to deal with the etymology or the origin or the mother, as Brother Abdullah said, of the word color. And so I could read the whole thing. It goes back to early 13th century, skin color complexion from Anglo-French couleur or couleur, Old French color, complexion, appearance. But I want to more focus on what I got highlighted and underlined, where it says from Latin colos, originally a covering, to hide or to conceal, to cover or conceal. So color deals with to hide or conceal. So when they calling you a color, they're hiding or concealing something. What are they hiding? What are they concealing? Your nationality, your true identity. Synonyms to define the word color according to the Black's Law Dictionary. And so when we deal with the color in the Law Dictionary, its definition is appearance, a semblance, or circumlocution as distinguished from that which is real. A prima facie, apparent right, hence a deceptive appearance, a plausible assumed exterior, concealing a lack of reality. I'm going to read that again because I want y'all to focus on these words, and I put the definition of each word in here so that we can break down what this is saying. An appearance, semblance, or circumlocution as distinguished from that which is real. A prima facie, an apparent right, hence a deceptive appearance. A plausible assumed exterior concealing the lack of reality. A disguise or pretext. So there's no such thing as black people or white people. This is a appearance distinguished from that which is real. This a deceptive appearance, concealing the lack of reality. Appearance, the way that someone or something looks. We can look at our skin right now and we can tell that our skin is not black. That's just obvious. Semblance, outward and often specious appearance or show. Deceptive, deceit, dishonest, fraudulent conduct, false statement made knowing them to be untrue, by which the liar intends to deceive a party receiving the statement or expects the party to believe and rely on them. Exterior, being on the outer surface. Again, we are not. Circumlocution, a slight, unreal, or superficial likeness or semblance. Unreal, superficial likeness. Prima facie, evidence that on its face or at first appearance appears to be sufficient to prove a particular position or fact unless rebutted or contradicted by additional evidence. The evidence is clear. Plausible, you could conclude that something might or might not be possible, but usually, theoretically, superficially, or suspiciously, it doesn't necessarily have to be a reasonable conclusion either. In its broadest sense, the term usually points to a lack of proof. A lack of proof. Disguise, a counterfeit habit, a dress intended to conceal the person who wears it. A dress intended to conceal the person who wears it. So the whole identity of calling ourselves these false colors, this Francis Bonner's ideology, you're a person who conceals what it says, a dress intended to conceal the person who wears it. So you might as well, we're putting on a dress and pretending to be someone we're not, someone we're not. Conceal, to prevent disclosure of or fail to disclose, as a provision in a contract, especially in violation of a duty to disclose. And then the last word is pretext. False reasons that hide the true intentions or motivations for a legal action.
All right, so Kono, we want to do a review on this. This is important that people really get this. These are the synonyms. There are 25 definition roots. 25. There's a book called Definition of Definition. Mm-hmm. There's 25 definition roots. Synonym is one of them. So the definition for the word color in the Black's Law Dictionary are synonyms. They used the root, the synonym root to define the word color in the Black's Law Dictionary. These are all synonyms. That's a definition root. There's 25 of them. So what Okono did, and I had never seen this done before, this was read in, probably quite hundreds of conscious Moors, but to break down the synonyms, to define each synonym so that we can get a clear understanding that the word color relates to this. The word color having nothing to do with complexion, skin tone, and pigmentation, deceiving, concealing. So an appearance doesn't mean that it looks to be real. It looks to be real. So we said appearance, a way that someone or something looks. But all right, so it could be someone could appear to be upset, appear to be sick,
Mm-hmm.
appear to be lost, but you won't know until you get the facts. So the word color relates to that. Counterfeit.
Mm-hmm.
Distinguished from that which is real, having nothing to do with the word's complexion, skin tone, or pigmentation. And Kono did a great job in going to explaining, showing us the origin of the modern, the origin of where did this word, how did the word color come to be associated with complexion, skin tone, and pigmentation?
Mm-hmm.
He gave you the answer. Give it to him one more again. How did the word color come to be associated with the word? Everything has an origin. So the origin of how millions of people throughout the world use the word color comes from these guys right here. They're in the grave.
Mm-hmm.
That's the origin.
334 years later, I think 330 some years later. Yeah.
With 1684.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2022, 2024. Somewhere close to, but yeah, this is
That's
300 something years later.
340, almost 340, 340 years. Yep. So this is important to give that he's giving the people this so they can that you can point to. You know, it's a finding of facts. He's pointing to the origin. Once again, the basic tool for the manipulation of reality is the manipulation of words. Those who control the meaning. So there's a controlling of the meaning of this word color. It's been constructed, a new meaning has been given, and got millions of people associating it with complexion, skin tone, hue, and pigmentation when it has nothing to do with that. See the control factor? You have an organization called the National Association for the Advancement
Colored people.
of Colored People. You have the color only signs, and Okono's done a great job in his videos, quite a few videos, presentation as he's, preparing for his book. Color only, white only. See the social engineering? Color only. Now you can't sit over here. No, you got to sit in the color. See, you got to sit in the color section. See, we see over there. See where it says color only. See the social engineering? You strip the people who they are, and you indoctrinate them into what? A fiction, a legal fiction. See, you can't. No, you can't come over here. This is for white only. You got to go to color only. See the indoctrination, and then also the indoctrination of are referring to them as white. So they got you thinking complexion. Hold on. Why do you call me colored? Were you talking about Willis?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Why do you call me colored? Were you talking about Willis? I'm asked again. Why did you call me colored? Well, let me tell you what, Abdullah. Let me tell you what, dumbass Abdullah. I'm gonna take out a mirror, dumbass Abdullah, and so that you can see yourself. I'll tell you what, dumbass Abdullah, because that's a dumb question, Abdullah. Look at yourself, Abdullah. Look at you. Just look, Abdullah. Just look at your hand. Like, why would you ask me stupid questions like that, Abdullah? Like, huh? See that college stuff, man. See, that's why you got too much. See, when people you've been reading too much, Abdullah. Like, why would you ask me a stupid question on why are you referred to as colored? That's that stupid asinine question. Just look at you. See that? You see that? See the with millions of our people. And the Europeans will react the same way. So see that? See the social engineering?
Mm-hmm.
Francois up in there, Carl Linnaeus, Johann Friedrich Blumenbach. See that? Mm-hmm. They'll look at you like you're an idiot. So we just wanted to, this is, as I said, part 2, etymology and semantics, true and original meanings and how new meanings are developed. Continue, Kono.
Okay, so then you want to break down the color chromo chart?
Now you got it.
I'm still learning this one. But okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to give you the flow on this one.
All right, so as we said before, the word color, when you look up the definition of pigmentation or skin tone or hue, tint, tones, or shades, if you just look up the definition, not the etymology, you'll see the entry level meanings, and you'll see the word color is added in the definition. Hint. Hue. You see the word color added to the definition. Tint. You see the word color added to the definition, including the definition. Tones. You see the word color including the definition. Shade. You'll see the word color including the definition. Now, how does the word color disguise, distinguish from that which is real, artificial, counterfeit, fake, simulacrum? How does that have to do with hues, tints, tones, and shades? Oh, we got to go back to what, 1684? We got to go back to 340 years ago? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. The basic tool for the manipulation of reality is the manipulation of words. Those who control the meaning of words control the people who must use it. We must go back to 1684.
Sankofa.
Go back to 1684 is the answer. Gives you the answer. New division, new, keyword new. The vision of the earth. Damn, new. So what's the old? Hold on. So that's new, 1684, new. What's old? Like, what's before 1684? So you're saying that this didn't exist in 1600? This didn't exist in 1500? That this didn't exist in 14, 1300, 1200, 900? This didn't exist in 5,000 years ago? It says no division. Wow, 340 years ago. You said this is used throughout South America? Wow. It's used in parts of Europe and used throughout the United States jurisdiction? Wow, it's new though. All right, so that's one of the, because that's the key to getting the understanding that color relates to that which is fake artificial, distinguished from that which is real, a concealing, disguise, hiding one's true intentions, deception, misleading. That's the color. So say, oh, you're a colorful character. Well, you know what they mean, that you're outgoing. Well, when say, well, he's very colorful. Just use it etymologically. He's very colorful, shy. You know, not outgoing, disguising, or very colorful. He's deceptive, rather. Deceptive. Misleading. So if you're calling somebody's color, you're saying that they're deceptive. They're not honest. They're fake. Hey, color.
Distinguished from
man, stop calling me fake. Man, I ain't fake. I said color. Yeah, I'm not fake. See, so I'm just so that we're just throwing it out there like that so we can pound it, really groom, get it, because that's what they did to us. Boom. Social engineer. So we got to reverse social engineering. We got to use social engineering to reverse it. All right, continue, Akona. Good job, brother.
So basically what we're talking about is an example of what we're talking about, I'll say, is a live plant versus an artificial plant. And so the artificial plant, of course, be black, white, red, yellow, brown. The live plant deals with nationality, the actual human being. And so the live plant is rooted in soil governed by laws of nature. And the artificial plant is manufactured in a factory governed by legislative laws. And so, again, black, white, red, yellow, brown, factored by government and legislative laws. Whereas your consanguinity or your nationality is rooted in the soil and governed by the laws of nature. Because that's your birthright. That's who you are. That's who you were born as before the manipulation of reality, the manipulation of the word. And they told you that you were a black person or a colored person. So what Francis Bernard did, he cut the roots. And his intent for cutting the roots, or the intent of the race paradigm, was to strip the people of their birthright theft, land subjugation, and identity theft, which gave the people a false history. And I yield with that one. I believe this is the last slide right here.
Can you see the chat? Anybody, any questions?
Yeah, I can see the chat.
All right. Any questions? Type your questions in. Type your questions in. Type your questions in. Comments, criticism. We don't know what we're talking about.
It's a lot of agreeing. So, I mean, it's a positive chat, positive feed in the chat.
All right. Now, if somebody says we don't know what we're talking about, then they got the floor, and they have to show finding of facts, present finding of facts to prove that we don't know what we're talking about. Saying we don't know what we're talking means nothing. I mean, boo, 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 boo. I mean, I said we don't know what we're talking about. All right. And that means, what does that mean? Show that we don't know what we're talking about. Not say it. That means nothing. I mean, that's just a claim. So that one, it's a claim. So we don't know what we're talking about. That's a claim. That's a claim. Now support your claim that we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we getting hearts in the comments.
All right, right on. No comment, no questions? No?
No. All love.
All right. I can usually go 2 hours and so forth. But we wanted to really.
Here go.
You got a question? All right. That
Ask that fellow what are the three main principles in studying words. Then
can you destroy any Pan African debate by these names? Too. We got up here, brother.
he said you can destroy it. Yeah, with those names, Francis Bernard, Carl Linnaeus, Frederick Bloomberg, we can destroy the Pan African ideology with those names. Is what they saying. They're agreeing to what we saying.
We can. Oh, that's all right. It's not a question, the statement.
Yeah, it's a statement. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Ask that fella, what are the three main principles in studying words then?
What, etymology, lectures, unabridged, I got, and then I had a Black's Law Dictionary. Those are my three. I can't speak for everybody else. But my three.
What are the three main principles in studying words? Well, etymology, etymology, as you have last week's class, part 1, etymology and the semantics, true and original meanings, and how new meanings are developed. So I gave the three main classifications in which words acquire new meaning. Generalization was also known as extension or broadening. Specification, also known as restriction or narrowing. And transfer meaning. Go to last week's class on this platform, on the Magna Pyramid Crystal YouTube page, on this platform that you're on now. Just go a week back, and you'll see that we just view this lesson. All right. So that's etymology, and this is a lesson on semantics. So we talk about studying words. Etymology is studying of the true origin, history, and real meaning of words. So we look at semantics, studying words, is how words acquire new meanings. So we have etymology, we have semantics. If you're looking at phonology and morphology and phonology deals with. We can look at the sound systems of a language of a language system. Then you have the morphology is the form. We can get into comparative method when you're comparing two or more languages from different family of languages or from the same family of languages. It's called comparative method. An example of comparative method. We have Latin language and modern English. So we have two languages from two different family groups. Pater is from the Latin family, and father is from the Germanic. So we have, I said English. English is not the name of the family. It's Germanic. So let me provide clarity. Let me start again. Latin family, that includes Spanish, Portuguese, Castilian, French, Italian. That's the Latin languages. That's one family. We have the Germanic languages, Dutch, Danish, Old Norse, Old Frisian, Old English, Middle English, Modern English, Old High German, Old Low German. And so those are Danish, Swedish. That's the Germanic languages. All right. So we're looking at modern English with father, and looking at Latin pater. So we got Latin language, Germanic language, in case modern English. So we look in this case that's called comparative method, and then we have what's called reconstruction, or transliteration. So the word pater is reconstructed. The Latin form pater is reconstructed into a modern English form. That's called reconstructed. The letter P is done through what's known as transliteration. The letter P in Latin transliterates to the letter F in modern English. The T in pater, which is in Latin, transliterates to the TH in modern English. And so you got transliteration. So there's a reconstruction. So now you have a reconstruction of the Latin form to the modern English form father. I just wanted to be more detailed, because the growth is in knowing the detail. Mm-hmm. I can't be general because you're not going to get it. I got to be detailed so you can get it. I want people to get it. And we have another question. We're not doing this just to be doing it. We're not doing this just to be doing it. We're here to raise y'all up. Abdullah, can you do the etymology of the word God? Yes, I can. All right. God is the modern English form. Let's take it to the Sanskrit. Khuda, Khuda, Khuda. It means to invoke. So let's look at Khuda to Huta. So the K, so removing the first letter or sound is known as aphoresis. So through the linguistical methodology of aphoresis, the letter K is removed so that's Khuta, that's which is Sanskrit, to Persian, Huta. Then we have the H and G. So from Khuda to Huta to Gut, G-U-T-T, the Gothic, G-U-T-T and G-U-D-D. All right. So God, G-O-D, is a modern English word. So you have the Old English, Middle English, and Modern English are all Germanic languages. Old English is between 400 to 1100 AD. Middle English, 1100 to 1500 AD. Modern English, 1500 to the present. Mm-hmm. So that form, God, is no older than 500 years old. See, God spoke to Abraham, 10,000 years ago, God, 1,000 years ago, God, 800 years ago, God, hold on, I'm lost, because that form, you speak in modern English, that's a modern English form. Like no one on the planet was saying God 1,000 years ago. No one on the planet was saying God 1,000 years ago. It's modern English. Let's not remove the emotions. It's a modern English form of the Sanskrit Khuda. Mm-hmm. They weren't saying God, it's modern English. The modern English is only 500 years old. Mm-hmm. There's no back and forth. Of course, people don't get emotional because of the social engineering. I know that. Don't get emotional. That's the control. Once again, thank you for the question, because that's once again the control factor.
The manipulation of reality.
Because they're manipulating, taking the word God, modern English form, 10,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago. That's the manipulation. All right. Next. Any other questions? Comments? Criticism? We don't know what we're talking about. which is fine. Which that's just a claim. Just now you got supported.
Someone in the comments asked, "What is the etymology definition of the word?" There it is, right there.
What is the etymology definition of the word of? This should be real good. All right. There are 25 semantical 25, I think, believe 25 semantical definitions for of. I'm gonna give you one that we need to know. Used in a genitive sense. The people in a constitution, there's a construction, the people of X, the people of Germany, the people of South Africa, the people of France, the people of Spain. Now, what does of mean in that construction? So we have, well, let me give you people. I'm going to break down each word. The people of Italy, people of Germany. All right. So people used in a constitution, as in the people of Italy, means used in the political sense, means the repository of the collective sovereignty of the people vested in a constitution. So that's the people of. So of is used in a genitive, Genitive, genitive sense, which means the source or origin, as in genitive, root word, Genesis, source or origin. So the people of Italy. Italy is the national identity. Italian is the nationality. Italy is the national identity. So the people of Italy, what does that mean? They hold the vested power, they inherit power. Someone of French descent is adopted into, or naturalized into the Italian government. They're now a naturalized Italian citizen. They will never, I don't care that they're 100, I don't care that they're 50 years. They could never be in the people of Italy. They could never be tied into the people of Italy. They hold the inherent power. That's the consanguinity. The people of Italy. You would have, people from France and, Germany and China and Russia and but they can be naturalized from all over. Mm-hmm. But it could never be the people of Italy. That's why that's important. So I thank you for that. All right, next. I was hoping you was going to hit on the Oxford bit. I want to hit on the constitutional bit. Because we need that knowledge. We need that knowledge of used in constitutions throughout the world. Should Moors enforce the United States Constitution or adhere to the international principles of post-millennium? All right. The Declaration of Independence. All right. Because if I say no, that means nothing. If I said yes, that means nothing. If I said yes or no, it means nothing. Because all they're going to do is repeat. I don't want people to repeat. Coco knows me. Mm-hmm. I do not want anyone to say Abdullah said. So if I answer no, they're going to say Abdullah said. I don't want people to say Abdullah said. So I got to do this. And I get 15 minutes. Because I don't want people to say Abdullah said. The Declaration of Independence of 1776. You have 13 states. The states were formed through constitutional conventions. The British subjects living on our land in the British colonies, North New Jersey colony, South Carolina colony, Georgia colony, Pennsylvania colony, Maryland colony, Rhode Island colony, Rhode Island plantation colony, or Providence plantation colony, Virginia colony, say South Carolina, Virginia, Georgia colony. These are English colonies. Mm-hmm. The British subjects were born on our land. Their grandparents, their parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, all right, 1600s, 1700s, and some colonies were formed in the 1600s, some were formed in the early 1700s. Those are British colonies chartered by the British Crown. You have what's known as proprietary colonies, you have royal colonies, and company colonies. British subjects. These British subjects rose up against their mother, the British Crown, English/British Crown. Let me back up, 1763 peace treaty between France and Great Britain. France defeated Great Britain in the 7-Year War. France ceded Canada and the Northwest Territory to Great Britain. France made a deal with Spain to have France cede the Louisiana Territory to Spain through the Treaty of Fontainebleau in 1762. King George III issued what's known as the Royal Proclamation. He reserved land for the Moors. Moors were classified as the British classified the Moors as Indians. So we have the Royal Proclamation line, the Royal Proclamation. The British subjects who would be heavily taxed wanted that land. This was the key factor that began the Revolutionary War. They wanted that land, because the British Crown is demanding more taxes. So they wanted that land that was reserved for us. As the Crown, British Crown reserved that land for us, their subjects, whom they classified as Indians and blacks. They reserved that land, and so there you had these British subjects, being greedy. They wanted more land so they can pay off the taxes and extend the farming. They formed government structure. They met known as in 1774, known as the Continental Congress of 1774. They met the following year, the Continental Congress, the Second Continental Congress of 1775. And that initiated them establishing coming together and constitutional conventions. So each of them had constitutional conventions, and they established constitutions through constitutional conventions. They signed the Declaration of Independence. So as a body, they agreed, all right, to separate from that. That was their initiation of separating from the crown. So they wanted to form a perpetual union, the Articles of Confederation of Perpetual Union. And so they drafted the Articles of Confederation of Perpetual Union in 1777, which was drafted during wartime. the delegates, if you look at the signatories page, they have delegates representing each state. The delegate of South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York. So they are the delegates. The Articles of Confederation was ratified 4 years later in 1781. In Article 2 of the Articles of Confederation, the Perpetual Union, is where they reserve their rights to be free, sovereign, independent states. United States viz, V-I-Z, means namely. That's Latin for namely. All 13 are named to be free, sovereign, and independent states. That has nothing to do with the Moors. The 1783 Definitive Peace Treaty between Great Britain and United States ended the Revolutionary War. Article 1 of the 1783 Definitive Peace Treaty between Great Britain and United States. His Britannic Majesty King George III relinquished to each of the 13 states, delegating authority to each of the 13 states, respectively, to operate under the British Charter, meaning that New Jersey State was granted the authority through Article 1 of the 1783 Definitive Peace Treaty to operate within the boundaries of the New Jersey Colony Charter. New York State was delegated authority to operate within the survey boundaries that's laid out in the New York Colony Charter. So His Britannic Majesty relinquished, acknowledged the United States viz, all 13 are named, to be free, sovereign, and independent states. He relinquished, and he treats with them. So he's treating with them individually as each of them are named. So that construction is in Article 1, Article 2 of the Articles of Confederation, and also Article 1 of the 1783 Definitive Peace Treaty between Great Britain and the United States. Article 2 of that same treaty, he relinquishes, King George III of Great Britain relinquishes the Northwest Territory, part of Minnesota, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. That is known as the Northwest Territory. Great Britain, with that land, that large portion of our land that was under British France's control, was ceded to Great Britain in the 1763 Definitive Peace Treaty between Great Britain and France. In Article 2, since there is no particular party where Great Britain relinquished the land to, as it is in Article 1, there were 6 states, the 6 largest states made claims to the Northwest Territory. This was a conflict. This was a major conflict. Thomas Jefferson in 1784, and drafting the 1784 Land Ordinance as an attempt to settle the conflict. And there, the agreement was to make states, 3 to 5 states out of the land. It didn't have enough teeth. So here comes the 1785 Land Ordinance. It wasn't strong enough. There was still disputes over it. Of spoiled land. Was called the Spoils of War. So the Spoils of War between Great Britain and United States is that Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, part of Minnesota, and Illinois. That's the land dispute over spoils of war. Remember, our land. They ain't got nothing. That has nothing to do with us. All it has to do with us is the land that they're fighting over. So there's 6 states that made claim to that. So now we haven't. So the John Jay being Secretary of State, he puts out a proposal to revise the Articles of Confederation. Now so that was one area of dispute. Another area of dispute that led to the Constitutional Convention in 1787 is that the states violated the treaty. Remember, the states were confiscating the Tories' land, our land that was given to the Tories by Great Britain. The Tories or Loyalists. Tory is a political party in Great Britain. They're called Loyalists because they remain loyal to the crown. You have the Patriots who were not loyalists. They were the ones that fought against the Patriots are the ones that rose up against the crown, against their mother. They're known as Patriots. Loyalists are the ones who remain loyal. So loyalists they were wealthy, they 2,000 acres, Alexander Hamilton, who was a patriot, who represented 60 loyalists in 60 cases. So, he's a lawyer. He wants to get paid. You know what I mean? The states in 1780, all the 13 states enacted the Compensation Act and Trespassing Act in 1780. So one of the settlements of the war was to return the Tories' land, which is our land, but we're talking conquest, English colonization. So when the treaty was signed in 1783, September 1783, and ratified in January 1784, the violations continued. Now, there's a big issue now because now you got a treaty. Great Britain refused to remove the troops. This was the big issue. You also had the states that were moving slow and paying and setting up war debts. The way the Articles of Confederation are structured, structured, there is no court of final decision. There's no Supreme Court. And under the Articles of Confederation. Under the Articles of Confederation, the states had more power, as in Article 2 of the Articles of Confederation, United States, viz., all 13 are named, agreed to be free, sovereign, and independent states. So this had to change because that structure is not working anymore. They're violating the treaties and international law, and they slow the foot move to pay the war debts. This is the major issue. Now, what does this have to do with the Moors? That all the land does, but not the issues, not the political body. So now we have the article. Now now in 1780. So now it's March 1787. The Constitutional Convention. Issues are still unsettled now. They're here to settle these matters. And if you look at the signatory page of the Constitution, you have delegates that representing their state. Virginia State, North Carolina State, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, etc. What has to do with the Moors? What does it have to do with the Moors? So I don't want the test to say yes or no. It's not yours. So let's go to the preamble. We, the people of the United States. Let me explain that. Once again, Article 2 of the Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union does not have that language. It has United States viz, namely, viz means namely in Latin, V-I-Z, all 13 are named. To be free, they reserve to be free, sovereign, independent states. So they're reserving their rights. So the states had more power under the Articles of Confederation. The states delegated some of that power with that phrase, we the people of the United States. That means something. I'm explaining what it means. That is We the people of New Jersey state. We the people of South Carolina state. We the people of Maryland state. We the people of Pennsylvania state. We the people of New Jersey state. We the people of North Carolina state. We the people of Rhode Island state. We the people of Georgia state. So that's because now it's vested in we the people. So let's keep in mind that let's go to back to Article 1 of the Definitive Peace Treaty. Great Britain, His Britannic Majesty, is relinquishing the land to each of the 13 states to operate within the boundaries that's laid out in the respective boundary charters where they are the territory. So we the people all 13 states come together and they form we the people of the United States. That's we the people of the United States. We the people of all 13 states form we the people of the United States. Not the Moors. That's not the Moors. I know I taught that live. I taught that. I know I did. Forgive me. I taught it to thousands of people for 25 years. I know it. I know I taught it to y'all. I did. That's why I can't just say yes or no. I got to break it down. This is not our Constitution. Let me continue. 5 more minutes. Article 4. So we mentioned the Northwest Ordinance. There was a committee. Remember, you had that despoiled land, the Northwest Territory, that was still unsettled. There was a special committee that met outside of the Constitutional Convention, a smaller committee, to iron out this spoils of war. So they put more teeth into the land ordinances, and that is known as the Northwest Ordinance of 1787. What was agreed upon, the United States and Congress assembled, agreed, made a deal with the states. Remember, there were 6 states that made claims to the Northwest Territory. There were larger states. The smaller states was asked out. The smaller states had an issue with that because the issue was that the larger states would grow more powerful by acquiring more land. So that was an issue there with the smaller states. The smaller states threatened to walk out of the Constitutional Convention. This was a major, major, major issue that had to be settled. So there was a smaller committee that met outside the Constitutional Convention to iron this out. Congress, United States and Congress assembled, not the Moors. United States and Congress assembled, not the Moors. United States and Congress assembled, not the Moors. Agreed, made a deal with the states. If you relinquish your claim to the Northwest Territory, spoiled lands, spoiled Moorish land that Great Britain got from France, and Great Britain ceded, to us. Now, we would pay off your war debts. So that was agreed. So now the land will be in the hands of Congress. So that the Northwest Ordinance of 1787 was major. There's an article in the Constitution that's from the Northwest Ordinance. It's Article 4, Section 3 of the United States Constitution, where that's in the hands of Congress now. Also, another issue, remember, they planned to make form 5 states out of that territory. So there was, let's put in a provision in this Northwest Ordinance that will put in the Constitution that these states will be on equal footing with the 13 original states. That's Article 4, Section 4. This Constitution shall guarantee a Republican form of government in all the states in the Union. That ain't nothing to do with us. So they took the spoils of war that what they got from Great Britain over our land. And they settled that matter in that Constitution, Article 4, Section 3, Article 4, Section 4. So 16 years later, the Louisiana Purchase, it's in the hands of Congress. There ain't no dispute now. There's no dispute. The states weren't disputing over that. Because it had already been settled in the Northwest Ordinance of 1787 that will be in the hands and managed by Congress. There ain't nothing to do with us. I don't want you, Abdullah said. This is from study. I can break this thing down. I yield. Next question. Thank you for the questions. Any other questions, comments, criticism? I don't know what you're talking about. Once you say that, once you say I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna give you the floor. You better bring your finding of facts. You got 3 seconds. You got 3 seconds. Meaning that once you say I don't know what you got, as soon as you say that, mean you got 3 seconds. You only got 3 seconds. Because the first word should come out your mouth is exhibit. If I don't hear exhibit, out of your mouth, I'm cutting you off. I'm serious. It don't take all that dancing. I'm getting to it. You bullshitting. That's why I said 3 seconds. Exhibit 1, exhibit. Just say exhibit. I mean, you gotta come.
Now the last statement was salute to you, Abdullah.
Amen. And my brothers and sisters. Mm-hmm. All right, so since there aren't any more questions, comments, or criticism, we don't know what we're talking about. Fine with me, but they gotta come. All right, so we're going to end here. I just want to thank y'all again. You see across the screen, go to mooresandmasonry.org for my books, Moors and Masonry Part 1, Moors and Masonry Part 2, How Venus and Moon Rule, Etymology and Vocabulary, Supplement U1, the Masonic Copy of Square, and the Connection to Measurement and Timekeeping. Also, the Moroccan Post School of Government and International Law and the Moorish Investigative Research Committee has their free classes on the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. We just had one on what was it? It was on affidavit, how to use affidavits and notarial processes. That was this past Saturday. That's on the Moroccan Post School Media YouTube page. Brother Kono, give a shout out for your book again and how they can reach you.
Again, yeah, my YouTube channel is Hope, helping our people elevate. You can reach me on Kono Montgomery Facebook if you have any questions or you want to just tap in and build. My book is titled From 1684 to Present, How Race and Color Became People. From 1684 to present, how race and color became people. And big brother, Professor Abdullah, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you, Brother Hank, for having me on this platform with y'all.
Thank you again, Hank. I salute you, brother. Peace, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Veda Makum.
Walaikum salam. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Say often, yes, I am. Supreme shield of protection surrounding me. Yes, I am. Yes, I am remembering all I was born to do. Yes, I am. Take hold of your crystal, which will magnify your I am affirmations at least 600%. If you don't have a pistol, you better have a crystal. Family, I am here with a magical moment of young musicians. And this is Kim, Sister Kim, and she has a message about investing into the future musicians of our community. Sister Kim, tell us what you got here.
Hi everyone, Kim, proud parent of children at the Big Apple Leadership Academy for the Arts. We teach HBCU high stepping marching band to our kids from age 5 and up. It is a free after school program, tuitionless, and it's open to all. Our kids are amazing. If you can, jump on our website. We're looking for support, donations. Our kids need new instruments so that they can high step on. Our website is www.balaa.org, BALAA.org. And I appreciate the time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And so family, listen up close. We're talking about investing in the artists of tomorrow. By investing in them, if you have a little expendable change to invest in the youth, the genius, this is the opportunity. And in this description on this video will be the details of sending your donation to PayPal or Zelle or Cash App.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you for your support. Our children are the future.